Learning self-awareness and maybe even self-control. Scorpios, that is your theme for the week. We've got the High Priestess, the Page of Wands coming out here, and then the Emperor reversed. So the High Priestess and the Page of Wands, that is self-awareness, and that's also learning where maybe you might be impulsive, learning where maybe you might be acting out of, let's just say like a shadow, like an egotistical standpoint. The Emperor reverse can literally be a straight up narcissist. But in this case, it's just like learning the difference between self-awareness, like overreacting, just being aware of how you come off to people and how sometimes you don't come off so great to people when you are impulsive and when maybe in the past you hadn't noticed what you were doing. It's a lack of self-awareness, and in the present, that's coming into self-awareness. All right, let's see what else we get here. On the bottom, we have the Four of Wands. I think there's help with that from other people. You have a lot of like positive influences around you. Or I just think you have a lot of like role models, good examples around you guys. Okay, let's pull some oracle cards, find out a little bit more. Okay, interesting. So the number one was the first card that came out. Again, it's like learning more about yourself, coming into yourself, which is part of like self-awareness. And then down here, it's like there's a lot of aspects of self-awareness with regards to this reading that have to do with communication, like how you come off to people, how when you specifically when you communicate. And sometimes, like let's say for example, when you cut people off, when you're so excited that you end up like talking over people. A lot of times that comes off like poorly to people, and you're learning to not do that. That's just one example. But you guys are learning how to not do that or watch out for that kind of thing so that you're not abrasive, like waiting for the right moment to speak. We've got the Rope and Pisces. That's not acting in the moment. That's not speaking unless spoken to or unless it's called for. It's like staying quiet. Pisces is staying quiet unless the moment is like really it's the right moment, unless it's like really relevant to something that needs to be said. It's waiting for the right moment to speak. It's self-awareness. Let's pull some advice for you guys. Advice for Scorpio. Oh, that was fast. Okay, so the advice here kind of goes hand in hand with the reading because we have Nine of Wands. That is kind of like trying really, really hard. I think you guys a lot of times are trying too hard. It's like a lot of times when you want to offer your opinion, but it might not be like the right time to offer your opinion, or it's not like completely thought out or well fleshed out, and you just like blurt it out, right? This is learning how to like have something to offer to the conversation that isn't just blurting out nonsense. It's like learning when to speak, and then when you speak to offer something that has value and contributes something specific. Eight of Pentacles is like highly specific data. It's like if somebody's talking about finances, you're going to, your opinion on it, you're going to give like specific banks, what they're doing, a general economic knowledge of, basically you're going to know the topic that you're speaking before you speak about it. So it doesn't seem like you're just blurting out nonsense because you just want to take part in the conversation. On the bottom, we have the Four of Pentacles, which is to just sit there. Four of Pentacles is you might want to, if there's in a social situation, maybe just chill, listen. You don't need to offer your 2 cents all the time. You guys are already doing this where you are practicing self-awareness with regards to all of this. But in this case, the advice is to keep doing that. Keep learning from sort of like being more of a listener, because the Four of Pentacles and then the Star and the Three of Wands really is watching, waiting, and taking it all in. The Star is also wisdom. Let's see what we get out of the oracle cards. Anything else for Scorpio? Now keep in mind that if this isn't you guys, there could just be a person in your life who is like this, who you have to deal with, who's like this. The energy doesn't necessarily, I am saying this as if it's Scorpio, but the energy can be external. So it can be like vice versa, it can be somebody else. Let's see what comes out. Anyway, yeah, there's definitely something about image coming up with these next couple cards. We get the Four reversed and then the Mask reversed. That's kind of like feeling like you don't look good if you don't act a certain way. Like, let's say you're quiet. The Four reversed is like being too quiet, too silent, and you won't look good. I don't think that's true here. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to look intelligent, to look like you know what you're talking about. You just need to offer information, like offer something when it's relevant, right? Down here we've got the key, the moon, and the hammer. It's, again, this is really supporting the fact that you don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be the coolest person in the room. You know, you don't, that doesn't make you look cool. You can be the quiet person and still stand out. That's what I'm getting out of this. Because there is something about image and repairing your image and being able to be yourself and quiet, which is the number 4, with the moon here, and still looking like still being part of the situation, still looking like you know what you're doing, like you know what you're talking about. On the bottom is the rabbit. It's like you don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to act like everybody else. Let's take a look at the next couple cards here. We have the door and the arrow on target. Yeah, this is the moment where in a conversation you're quiet the whole time, but somebody says something about a topic that you know a lot about. Well, this is the moment where you chime in. The door is that moment, and then the arrow on target is that very specific thing that you have a very knowledgeable opinion about. You're not going to blurt out whatever comes to mind, but you're going to give your 2 cents when it's relevant. So you can be the quiet person in the room and still come out looking like you are on top of your shit, looking cool. You don't have to be the loudest person to look cool. That's kind of the message here. All right, Scorpios, for you or for somebody who you're dealing with. All right, Scorpios, thank you guys for being here. If you want to see more videos, don't forget to follow the channel, and I will see you guys next time.